So, hello, dear friends. I am Satyanarayan Prajapat, 2019 batch IPS, and good evening to all. So, the topic of discussion for this video or this online session is how to prepare for the UPSC prelims, which is coming. No one knows in how many days. The originally scheduled prelims is on 31st May, but there are very high chances that there will be a change in the schedule. So, we will be talking about that while the course of our interaction. And then, what are the last minute strategy which should we follow to get into the list of the prelims? And then once you clear the prelims, how to prepare for the mains? We get at least 3 months or 100 days between the prelims and mains, so how to utilize that time. And then I'll be talking about once you clear the prelims and mains, what is the interview all about, how to get decent score in the interview. So we will be talking about all the three stages of the UPSC civil service exam. So I think more people are joining now. So shall we start or wait for the other peoples to join? I think just 4 people have joined till now, so I think we should wait for some time. People are joining. We can wait for some 2-3 minutes. And I will be keeping my interaction very I will keep my words very short, and then I will give you people the opportunity to ask me questions, whatever doubt you have, whatever queries, I will try to address them. So till the time more people joins in, I would like to tell what we people are doing in the National Police Academy Hyderabad here. So before the corona thing happened and the lockdown thing started, our training was going full-fledged, and our complete schedule was from morning 5 o'clock to evening 7 o'clock. So it was a very tightly scheduled program. Good evening, M. Shah. Good evening, Manavjeet. Good evening, Gyan Prakash. So I'm still waiting for the other people to join. Okay, so I think we should start our session. And first of all, I would like to discuss about the schedule of the exam, whether it is going to happen on 31st May or not. So as we all know, there is no surety as of now. UPSC came out with a notification few days back that they will have a meeting once the lockdown is over. So I think we should continue with our preparation as it was scheduled earlier. We should consider that for the time being, the exam is to be conducted on 31st May only. And by the time there is no official communication, we should not make any changes in our preparation. So that is the first point I wanted to say. The second point is that there is a very high probability that the exam will get postponed because see, the previous year's interview are also pending. The 2 weeks interview are pending, so UPSC will first try to conduct those interviews, and then only they will be proceeding with the next year's prelims. I think that should be the normal course of action by the UPSC. I do not see that the both of exam from 2019 and 2020 colliding with each other. So there is a very high probability that it will be get postponed, but we people should not relying without any official communication, and we should not make any changes to our preparation. So then the second point which I would like to talk about is that to clear the prelims there are two type of things. First one is the static portion. So I hope that by now you people are all very versed with your static part all the subjects: history, polity, art and culture, science and technology, whatever all the subjects which are there, polity, environment. I think you must be conversant with all the concepts. So what you can do now and what you should do now is that you should revise whatever you have read till now. So you should not try any new things, you should not start any new book for the static portion by now. And then the next thing is the current affairs part. So I hope that you people have been reading the newspaper for like last whatever time you are preparing for 1 year 2 years, and at least last 1 year's current affairs is asked in the exam, although UPSC is being very uncertain these days, and they are asking from last 1.5 years 2 years, and even they goes back 5 years as well. So we can't do all those things, but last 1 year current affairs means the time from where the last year's UPSC conducted prelims, that was in the 1st or the 2nd of June. So we should start with June and then we should do the current affairs. So if you are not reading the newspaper, then I hope that you are doing with the current affairs magazine, like which comes in the market, monthly current affairs or the like quarterly current affairs, whatever. So if you are, I hope that you are following any one of these things. And then if you have not followed these things, then you should read the like the yearly compilation. Many of the coaching institutes and like online providers, content providers, they make the monthly current affairs booklets, and I find some of the coaching says current affair booklets, they are very comprehensive. Although the thing is that there is a word of caution that you should be very careful while reading. So you have to do very selective reading, and for that what I will advise you to go back and look at the last 5 years question papers of UPSC. So what type of questions they are asking, that is the very very important thing. What happens is that we start reading each and everything which is available, so that is not a good way to go ahead. We should not read each and everything which is present, but we should like constrain our preparation to the demands of the UPSC. And if you go back and look at the papers of the last 5 years, you will find a particular pattern that in particular type of subject they are asking particular type of questions, and there will be easy questions, tough questions in the paper, but yes, there is a certain pattern. So you should try to read between the lines, and you should try to find out a strategy which suits you. So you should not go for each and everything which comes in the market. So just like stick to one of the sources for the current affairs, read them thoroughly, do 1 2 or 3 revisions, otherwise it will not be possible that you will be able to get the exact information during the time of exam. If you are very well conversant with the news, like the news events which has happened in the recent past, then only you will be able to answer the questions, otherwise it becomes very difficult. So these are the 2 3 things which I wanted to say about the prelims. And the next most important thing which will decide whether you can clear the prelims or not is the paper practice. So I have talked to many of my friends who have cleared the exam, and it is my also personal experience that the paper practice is the most important aspect of clearing the prelims. I have cleared prelims 3 times, 3 years in continue, 2017, 18, and 19, and I can tell that if you practice at least 50 to 60 papers, then there are very high chances of you clearing the prelims. Because if you do the papers, then you get into the mold of exam, and then you also like evolve out a strategy of how to tackling the question, how to complete the paper, how to like give more time to the questions which you are not very sure about, and how many number of questions you should attempt, and like you should attempt whether 70 questions, 80 or 90, or how much risk you should take while marking the options, whether you have cleared just one option and you are left with 3 probable options, and you are like very uncertain whether to take this question or not. So these type of things you will be able to do only if you solve more and more number of papers. So my personal experience is that when the first time I cleared prelims, I solved around 60 to 70 papers, and in the next years also I tried to solve as many as papers possible. But like solving the papers is quite essential, you cannot do away with this. You cannot just read and read and read and then go into the exam, and then you cannot expect to get very high score in the prelims. So that is the thing I wanted to say about the paper practice aspect. And then the next thing is what you do after clearing the prelims, so just after the exam of prelims is over. So there is a gap of around 1 to 1.5 months by the time the results are announced. So you can take a rest of 3 or 4 days or 1 week at max, and then you should get back to your studies irrespective of the performance you have done in your exam. So whether you are sure or very sure or not sure about your chances of being clear in the exam, but you should start preparation for the mains. So about mains, I will not say much as of this point of time, because once the prelims is over, I will try to conduct another session that specifically uh, what to do with the mains aspect. So as of now, I will say only 2 3 points. One is that you should be very conversant and thorough with the syllabus of the UPSC. Because what happens is that in the mains, UPSC asks questions directly from the syllabus. So whatever topics are mentioned in the syllabus, they ask questions from each and every topic. Like if I talk about the GS3 paper, so that covers so many subjects. But if you see the papers of the mains of last 4 5 years, you will that UPSC is asking questions with like a fixed number of questions from each and every topic. Excuse me. And then they ask questions which are directly related to the syllabus. Like in the syllabus, the term is mentioned inclusive growth and development. So every year you will see one question or two questions with respect to not two questions, but at least one question with respect to like what is inclusive growth, what are the dimensions of inclusive growth, has India achieved the inclusive growth, or like the developmental policies, are they helping us in achieving the inclusive growth or not. So like I what the point I want to derive here is that you must be very thorough with the syllabus of the UPSC, and you should restrict your preparation according to the syllabus only. And then like you should not leave any topic unprepared. You should prepare each and every topic which is given in the syllabus. Some topics which you find that there does not like there is not very high chances of asking question, and there is a lot of things to read, then you can do the selective things. For example, I never covered the part of world history because I knew that UPSC will ask one question only, whether of 10 marks or 15 marks, and there is a lot many things to read in world history. So even if like if a easy question is asked, I will be able to answer, but if a difficult question is asked, I will also not be able to answer, while as the others will also will not be able to answer. And just leaving one question unattempted, or like giving a half-hearted attempt, will not affect too much my performance, overall performance. So that is the way you should also figure out that where you should leave the things, and what are the things we should read in like thoroughly. Because there are various topics, particularly in polity and that part, that we confine our preparation just to one or two books or one or two sections of the entire syllabus. Like if I talk about the GS2 syllabus, there are 4 5 different sections of the syllabus, and generally what happens is that the students just cover only one part, that is the constitution part or the governance part, but they completely leave the social sectors things, the government schemes, and the other parts like the welfare of the citizens and all those parts, they just leave it. And in the exam, then they like find it very difficult to answer those easy questions as well. Because like beyond the constitution and governance, there are topics like panchayati raj institutions, self-help groups, and coordination between different aspects of the governance and different stakeholders. So what I want to say is that you should be you should be keeping your mains preparation very close to the syllabus which UPSC has given. Although this is also true for prelims, but in prelims there are very high chances that you will not find any direct link between the syllabus and the questions which they ask. But in the mains, if you go into the papers, I'm saying again and again this thing at the cost of repetition, that once if you go and check the papers, you will definitely find that there is a very high collaboration, and there is a very high parallel, you can draw parallel lines between the syllabus and the questions which UPSC asks. So that is my word of advice for the mains. And then for the interview, I have just to say one or two things. I'll not say much about it at this point of time, that is it is not the test of your knowledge. First and foremost thing is that it is not test of your knowledge. What you know and what you do not know is not going to decide your marks in the interview. It is the test of your personality. So is the name of the exam. It is the personality test. It is not called interview, but in common language we call it UPSC interview. But the official name or the UPSC, what the name UPSC take is that it is a personality test. And your personality test is the test of your habits, of your character, of your qualities, what values you subscribe by. So what values you are possessing, these are the things which UPSC is going to test. Although they will ask you questions, but through those questions they will not be looking for your knowledge, that whether you know something or not. They might ask you factual questions, but they will not be much interested in knowing the answers of those factual questions. What they will be interested in, they it is that, like, how do you tackle a question, how calm and composed you are during a pressure situation. Suppose you do not know anything about a particular question, or you have not even heard of it even in your lifetime. So then what is your conduct, how you are going to present yourself? Whether you get any kind of like frustration, or do you get under pressure, or do you start fumbling? These are all the things which UPSC is going to test. And then it is the test of your character, like whether you are honest or not. They will ask such questions which will, like, force you to tell about your character in an indirect way. It will not be directly, they will not ask you directly that what are the values you subscribe by or not, but they will ask you such questions where your values, your preferences, your ideological aspects, your orientation, your perception, everything will be coming out. So they will try to ask such questions, and then they will try to judge you on based on those parameters. So it is generally said that the tests the officers like quality, and I will talk very briefly what are the officers like quality. So the officers like quality are the qualities which are required when you are an officer. So two or three things which is important is, one and first and foremost thing is the honesty. If you are honest, then only UPSC is going to select you. If you are dishonest and try to bluff with the UPSC, they will catch it very easily. They are very experienced people, and then they will just throw you out if you are trying to be dishonest. Then it is like the test of your decision making capabilities. So they will be trying to give you new situations, and what decisions do you take, how decisive you are, or what are the factors which you consider while making any strategy or taking any decision. So this is the second most important thing. And third thing is that your awareness, and like how aware you are about your surrounding. For example, they ask you questions related to your schooling, your college, your work experience, what you were doing while you were working, and like what was the environment in your college, was there any ragging or not. These type of things they will ask you. So through these questions they will try to look into your personality, that how curious you are about the things, how carefully you have watched and listened to your surroundings. Like if you are traveling from one place to another, suppose someone says that I am born in Maharashtra and have studied in, say, Uttar Pradesh. So they will ask you, like, from while moving from Maharashtra to Uttar Pradesh, what are the changes which you felt, or how difficult what was it for you to like adjust into a new place. So through these type of questions, they will try to assess whether you are just very a casual guy, or you observe the things very seriously and you think about the things. So these are the qualities which they will try to test. And then there is one more myth is there, like language plays an important part in the interview. It is not like that. If you give exam in either Hindi medium, in English medium, or any regional language, it is not going to make any difference. It is not going to make any difference. I'm going to repeat it. Don't worry about that. If you are writing the exam mains or prelims in English, fine. If you are very not comfortable with English, you can give interview in Hindi or whatever regional language, either you are speaking Tamil, Telugu, or whatever regional language, Marathi. So you can do that while filling the form of UPSC, but I think this time it is over, so there is no point of talking more about that. So this is what I have to say about the entire like three stages of the UPSC civil service exam. Now if you have any particular doubt, you can please write it in the comment section, and then I'll try to answer your questions. I don't see many participants live right now, so You may not be able to ask me questions as of now because there are very less number of participants, but yes, you can text me your questions to my Facebook page. And one more thing I would like to tell is that to help the aspirants in their preparation and to with the purpose of guiding them for their exam, I have also started a channel, and I will be writing that name in the comment section, and that is law education. So you can search in the YouTube at Satyanarayan and law education, LA education, law education. So you can join me over that channel as well, or you can just directly text me in the Facebook. So regarding the time management, one of the participant has asked that how like they have asked just time management. So can you please specifically write your question, what do you want me to talk about time management thing? Okay, by the time that person writes the question or the specific question, I'll talk about general time management. So, see, you have to give maximum amount of time which is available to you for the next whatever time which is left in the prelims. There is no point of like not giving your maximum time to it, because if you want to give a very serious and sincere effort, then you have to prepare for the maximum amount of time. But like devising, he has written non-technical subjects. So which subjects you are particularly talking about? Okay, so I was talking about time management, and you have to give maximum amount of time which is available with you, whether it is 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, it is not going to matter a lot. But yes, you have to cover all the aspects of the exam. You have to balance your both things like reading and uh, practice as well. I have already talked about it like that. It is not possible that you just keep on reading and reading and reading and then go into the exam and you can like score very high in the prelims. There is, although you can clear the prelims just by reading, but this is not a very like optimum way of doing the things. You have to read and as well as practice. So you should devote more amount of time to practice as of now, because there is very less time available now. And then as soon as the exam approaches, you should give more time to the revision part and then to the practice part. That is what the two things you should do. You should, I have already mentioned, you should not start new books or any new subject other than the current affairs thing. Current affairs, yes, if the exam happens in suppose June, then you have to cover the current affairs at least 1 month prior, so that becomes the April month. So I will recommend that you cover the current affairs till 1 month of the exam. Whatever the time of the exam the UPSC comes out with, you should be sticking to that only. So I think we can end here. I'm not seeing any more questions. So thank you so much for listening. And if you feel any questions, if you have any query regarding the exam, you can contact me on my Facebook profile. I'll try to reply you. Thank you so much.